Hey guys, Games for Life here, and in this video we are gonna turn the wolframite behind me into scrap. The way we are gonna do it is pretty easy, so everybody can do this. If you're early to mid game, you can already get started on it. And this is gonna be an easy method to automate your scrap production and get a ton of scrap so that you can trade it for all the resources you might need. Before we start, here's a schematic of the farm. This is how it's gonna look in the end. And then here's the list of items that you're gonna need in order to build this. The list will also be in the description, so check that out if you want to build this with me. Now without any further ado, let's build the farm. So the wolframite is over here and our base is right there. We got lucky because we have quite a bit of wolframite this close to our base, but no matter what the distance is, you can use this strategy and it works. First of all, we are gonna need trains in order to move it to the base. Now with this being such a small distance, we could also use auto arms, but they require more power, they are slower, and I want this strategy to work even if you don't have wolframite this close to your base. So we'll go the train route. Now of course we are gonna use auto-extractors, so let's unpack these right here. And we will just place them on here. That's great. We'll turn those on in just a second. We've got some materials right here. Apart from turning it into scrap, the most important part is transporting it. That's why we're gonna use a rail car. It's gonna have a storage on top, and we've got a storage sensor right here. Make sure it's set to full or empty, and just link it to the car. Now make sure the rail station is set to load stopped cars. And we've got another rail station right over there, you can see it in the distance. We are gonna set that one to unload stopped cars, so you can see how that's gonna work. Pretty easy, right? And then we can use auto arms to grab the resources from here. Let's unpack the auto arms. We'll make sure everything is connected to power. And now these should reach into the item slot of the auto-extractors. Alright, that looks great. Now let's also connect these and we can finally turn it on. You might also want to place some items there, otherwise there will be some wolframite going to those spots. So I'll place some organic and some samples on top here. Before we turn on these auto arms, make sure you've added some wolframite there so they don't pick up anything else. And there we go, these auto arms should reach into the storage of the rail station. Now you can also overclock these auto extractors, but you don't really need to. And you can see it working and it automatically loads the car. So once this is full with 32 wolframite, the rail station will automatically send it to our base over there. So while that's happening, let's build the scrap production facilities. And I'm gonna try to make this as easy as possible. First of all, make sure you've got power going to your rail station, and we'll start with 2 auto arms that will unload all of the wolframite from here. We will also place wolframite in the selector slots of these auto arms. Now I'll grab a large platform right here. Make sure we connect that as well. And I will use 4 portable smelters for this, but you can use a normal smelter if you want to. Doing it this way makes it way faster, that's why I like it. Then we'll have 2 other auto arms taking the smelted tungsten from here. And of course we will add tungsten to the selector slots of these auto arms. Next up we'll have another platform right here, and this is gonna have small printers on it, as well as some storage space. And we'll set these to floodlight on repeat. Each of them will craft 1 floodlight using 1 tungsten. And each floodlight will give us 1.5 scrap, meaning this farm is even more efficient than some of my other farms. We also have an aluminum farm, a copper farm. Each of those provides 1 scrap per aluminum or copper. This one gives you 1.5 scrap for each tungsten, so that's really great for efficiency. The only farm we've built that's more efficient than this one is the Astronium Scrap Farm. That gives you 3 scrap per astronium. By the way, if you want to check that video out as well, it will be right here on the right hand side. But let's keep on building. Next up we're gonna need another platform, and this is just gonna have storage on it. All of the floodlights will go here. That's because I don't really like them going on the ground, because they can glitch, they can cause lag, all of that stuff. So better safe than sorry, we've got our platform right there. Next up we need 2 more auto arms, and then finally an extra large platform with an extra large shredder on it. I'm using an extra large one because this makes it way faster, but you can use just the large shredder if you want to. And then we'll have some storage space for all that scrap. I'm gonna use medium resource canisters, but you can use whatever storage you prefer. Okay, so there we go, it's all set up. All we need to do before we can turn the auto arms on is provide items in the selector slots of these. So we're gonna need wolframite for these two, tungsten for these, floodlights for these ones, and that's it. The cart should come any second now. I think it's half full. Let me just create a duplicate so we can go into creative. I'll name this duplicate tungsten, so that we can see the farm from up in the sky. That way I can explain what's happening way better and you can see it in action. Alright, so here we go. You can see the cart coming in with all of the wolframite. The auto arms unload it and place it onto the first platform with the smelters. It then gets smelted into tungsten, and then another set of auto arms takes the tungsten and places it onto the printer platform, where it gets turned into floodlights. The floodlights get stored into the floodlight storage area, which is a separate platform. And from there, another set of auto arms takes them and feeds them into the shredder, which shreds them into scrap. And remember, each tungsten produces 1.5 scrap, and a full cart, the way we've built it, comes with 32 tungsten. That means we are getting 48 scrap every time the cart comes into the train station. That's almost 50 scrap per cart, and actually it goes pretty quick. I used 2 auto-extractors. But if you don't want to do that, you can use only one, or if you want to, you can go overboard and use 4, 5, 6, however many you want. But I think 2 work pretty good, and we are getting a ton of scrap. So that's basically it, that's how it works. I think it's pretty simple. You can build this fairly early on. Now that's gonna be it for today. Don't forget about the Astronium farm video I talked about earlier. It should already be on screen, or if you want to, you can head to the automation playlist where I've got a ton more videos on all kinds of automation. So click on either one of those, and yeah, that's it for today. I've been Games for Life and I'll see you next time. Cheers, Astroneers!